Hi, this is Billie Beene here with another segment of Truth by Billie Beane's special report. This is November 1, 2022. This is a new YouTube channel for me. I have a subscribe button in the lower right corner of my screen. Thanks for like, subscribe, and share. Episode 456, World War III. It's done. Liz T. to Blinken regarding the bombing of N1-N2. And what this means is that the Prime Minister of England sent a text message to the Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, 1 minute after the bomb went off, bombing the Russian pipeline N1-N2. And now it's war. So let's get started. Some of my sources are God in the Bible, Patriot subscribers, Off-Grid Desert Farming, Hal Turner, Colonel McGregor, Beforeitsnews Tap Blog, battleforworld.com, South Front, on the Steve Quayle site, American Military News, Scott Ritter, Moon of Alabama, Defense Politics Asia, Plus. So let's get started. Okay. And I have a recording of a link for you of Hal Turner giving an oral report. Now, Hal was 15 years with the military, FBI, also worked inside the U.S. and outside the U.S., coordinating with the CIA and international intel groups, and that's how he comes to have great intel information. Okay, so we have this. We have a group of layers of intel coming out from Tap Blog, from the British Navy intel, from the headquarters that was in Ukraine, in the region of Nikolaev. That's the group that Russia took out yesterday, I believe. I understand there were hundreds of deaths there. And what this detail gives is the attack on Sebastopol that was in Crimea that took place a couple of days ago. And it was, I think, 11 and 7. It was drones from land and sea. And currently on Twitter, there's also a video that was actually taken from the video that was on the drones. So it's military video. But this is the new information. So the British Navy, the 73rd Marine Group, did the actual job on Sebastopol. They used a small nuke, a 0.5 kiloton nuke, on the modified torpedo. Yeah, so that's going on. And now we have this, battleforworld.com. Russia picked up fragments of the drones. That's how they knew about the nuke material in Sebastopol. They did strike 3 ships, plus the port. And the modules, this is new information, the modules that were attached to the drones were made in Canada. And they were launched from Odessa. That's inside Ukraine. And here is Crimea, the port, Sebastopol. Now, in the Black Sea, there was a corridor with ships loading up with grain. And the drones were coming down this safe corridor when they suddenly swerved to hit the port of Sebastopol. So that's going on. And now, South Front is reporting that the drones were also being guided by U.S. technology. So we have drones. And they had on them this global recon guided by a URV that would have been something, so the drones would have been in this area. They would have had this technology on the drones. There would have been flying above them a URV, this is US, and then off there would have been a US plane operating this technology, keeping up with the drones. And it's called, for the US technology, it's called an RQ-4B. It's a high altitude unmanned aerial recon system, but it has a remote pilot, and it's operated out of several areas inside the U.S. The length is 47.6 feet or 14.5 meters. The height is 15.3 feet or 4.7 meters. The wingspan is 130.9 feet or 39.8 meters. And it can stay up in the air for up to 34 hours, but it is remote controlled by a U.S. pilot. Okay, now we have this. We have, and that was the attack on Sebastopol, the port city in Crimea. And now we have this from American Military News. The U.S. military, and this is coming out from the Pentagon, now have boots on the ground inside Ukraine. So they are coming out with this and saying that they have a general there, a brigadier, U.S. Army Brigadier General Garrick Harmon is inside Ukraine. And they have other troops there. And they say that what they're doing is looking over weapons and working with U.S. weapons. So that's going on. And they have their Pentagon is publicly stating they have U.S. military intel inside Ukraine, and they're helping Ukraine to attack warships and generals. So the Pentagon is coming straight out and saying, yeah, we've been helping and we are helping. Now, what happened today is the Russians hacked inside Ukraine. They had Delta software that was being used for the comms base in Ukraine. This is U.S. military software. It was hacked. It's all over Twitter. They're showing all the information that was on this site, where the Ukraine troops are, what their assets are, what their plans are. Yeah. So that's going on. And now we have this. We have the USS Reagan. It's a 333 meter long ship, and it has 90 planes on it, helicopters, including F-35Cs, and it's going to Britain, to the Navy base at Portsmouth. It's left now, it'll be there by mid-November, and it's taking with it 7 warships. And now we have this. Off-Grid Desert Farming brought out this oral report by Hal Turner that details what happened and why Russia is preparing to declare war on the U.S., Britain, and NATO. Okay. This has to do with the bombing of N1-N2 Russia pipeline. I think that happened in September. So it was going from Russia to Germany. And the German people wanted to resume receiving Russian natural gas so that they and their children would not freeze to death in December and January. Well, the shadow NATO and the shadow U.S. government and the shadow U.S. military and the shadow Britain government and military didn't want that, so they blew up the N1-N2 pipeline. And the group that did it was Britain. And 1 minute after the bomb went off, Liz Truss, the Prime Minister of Britain, sent an unsecured text message on her phone to Secretary of State, U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken. It's done, meaning the bombing of N1-N2. So Hal Turner is saying that he received this intel and that the message to Blinken, it's done, and represents a nation-state act of terrorism by both the U.S. government and the British government. Bombing the $15 billion pipeline owned by Russia is an act of war, and Russia and the Russian people are viewing it that way. And now we have this. Russia has said war is coming and have advised the U.S. government and the British government. Now, Colonel McGregor says that Russia has 700,000 troops now inside Ukraine. And I received this from a Patriot subscriber who lives near Philly Airport. Massive planes are coming and going. Motorcades with police escorts are jamming I-95. And I give the credit to God, because what came to my mind was, oh my God, they have implemented continuity of government, and they are taking out government people and other people considered to be important to the continuation of the U.S. government. That's one of the reasons the transponders have been turned off, I believe, on the U.S. military planes yesterday. So, now may we remember, it is God who is in charge. He is on the move. His seraphim angels are here to help us. And may we say, God bless America, and God bless all nations and all peoples who want peace and prosperity. I love you, and I'll see you soon.